While everyone's been watching Vancouver and Toronto, Surrey's been building something big, and the window to get in early is starting to close. Right now, there are billions of dollars of mega projects under construction across this city that are going to reshape British Columbia. I've been selling real estate here for over 23 years, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything like this before. By the end of this video, you're going to see Surrey in a completely different way. It's kind of strange to think about, but it's been over 20 years since I moved to the city of Surrey. And you know what? The city I know now isn't the one I moved to, not even close. Back then, this place was exactly what most people think it still is today, a commuter city. You lived here, you drove to Vancouver, you did your thing, and you came back, and that was the deal. But the narrative is completely flipping. Surrey is one of the fastest growing cities in all of Canada. It has a younger population, way more physical space to develop, and a relative affordability compared to Vancouver, which has been pulling people south for years. What's different now compared to even 5 years ago is that government and private investment are finally catching up to all that growth. Statistics Canada and regional planning boards project that Surrey could surpass Vancouver as British Columbia's most populous city as early as 2038. Let that sink in. The suburb people used to dismiss is on track to become BC's largest city sometime this decade or the next. Under current growth trajectories, Metro Vancouver is expected to reach about 4.2 residents by 2051, and Surrey is projected to absorb about a quarter to a third of that. That being said, population alone doesn't transform a city. What transforms a city is where the investment goes, and right now, the investment is pouring into Surrey at a scale we haven't seen before. So let me start with the one that signals more than any other, the project that governments only build when they're absolutely certain a city is going to grow. But before we dive in, if you're curious about what your home is worth right now in today's market, I've got a free home evaluation tool linked in the description below. It takes about 2 minutes. No pressure, no catch, just a starting point if you're thinking about your next move. Now let's keep going. So there's a version of Surrey that people who haven't been here in a while still have in their head, and then there's what's actually getting built right now. And honestly, nothing shows that gap more than what's happening in Cloverdale. The province has committed nearly $3 billion to a brand new hospital and integrated BC Cancer Centre right there. This is planned to be the first fully electric hospital in British Columbia. You're looking at nearly 170 inpatient beds, a second emergency room for Surrey, 5 operating rooms, a cancer center built to serve the rapidly growing Fraser region. And on top of that, Surrey Memorial Hospital is still expanding its current capacity. Construction started in September of 2023, and the target right now is around 2030 for opening. Now here's the thing, governments don't spend that kind of money on a city they're unsure about. They just don't. When you see investment at this level, it's a signal. It's saying that Surrey is going to keep growing in a big way and for a long time. And the infrastructure has to keep up with that. That ties into immigration at a national level too. This is planning for where Canada is going. Now, it's not just healthcare jobs or construction jobs. You start to see retail services and local businesses grow around that workforce. Real estate demand in nearby areas usually starts moving before the building even opens. So this is all about what this level of investment does to the entire area around it. With that in place, let's look at the project that's going to completely change how people move through Surrey and the Fraser Valley. If you drive along Fraser Highway right now, you'll see it. There's a massive elevated concrete guideway going up above the road, stretching out towards Langley. You've got 4 huge gantry cranes lifting 28-ton concrete places into place one by one. It's one of the biggest construction sites in the country, and most people driving under it don't even realize what it's about to do to the city. The Surrey-Langley SkyTrain extension is close to a $6 billion project. It's 16 kilometers of rapid transit running from King George Station all the way down to Langley City with 8 new stations along the way. When this opens around late 2029, you're looking at about a 22-minute trip end to end. Now here's how that plays out on the ground. The province has set transit-oriented areas around each of those 8 stations. That means a minimum 20-story buildings with much higher density within the 200 meters around them. So you're going to see more condos, more mixed-use projects, and a lot more development going around those stops. And this is coming from provincial policy. And land values along transit corridors don't wait until everything's finished. They start moving as soon as the construction starts, and construction is well underway. Where transit goes, long-term growth follows. Surrey's getting a huge share of that, and it's already in motion. Now, a transit line needs somewhere to go, and that's exactly what's being built next. For a long time, we really didn't have a downtown around here. It had a city center with office towers, a mall, transit, everything you needed, but it wasn't somewhere you choose to spend your time. It worked, it just didn't pull people in. But that's changing, and it's happening faster than most people expected. There's a plan called Surrey 2050, and the goal is pretty clear. Build this into a real second downtown with a population pushing 1 million people. Not just bigger, but denser, more built out, and more complete. You're already seeing it start. UBC has a 3-acre site on King George Boulevard with plans for about 500,000 square feet and up to 10,000 students. And SFU keeps expanding. You got more office, commercial space coming in as companies realize they don't need a Vancouver address to operate at a high level. Now, here's the thing. What really changes how a place feels is entertainment, and Surrey's finally getting that piece. The city has committed close to $200 million for a new 10,000-seat indoor arena at Tom Binney Park in City Center, right next to the Chuck Bailey Recreation Center, plus a hotel, conference space, and around 100,000 square feet of commercial space attached. They finalized the developer shortlist in March, and construction is expected to start in 2027. That's the difference. A city center is where you go to get things done. A downtown is where people actually want to be. Now, what Surrey is building here is a second economic core on the West Coast, and for that to work, it needs people. So now let's talk about where that workforce is coming from. Here's something that doesn't get the same attention as an arena, but it plays a bigger role long term. Who's actually training the people that are going to live and work here? Simon Fraser University is launching the first medical school in Western Canada in almost 60 years. This is a $520 million investment. Applications for the first class opened last October, and studies started at a temporary Surrey campus in August of 2026. The permanent 12-story building is set to be finished by 2030, right next to the hospital we talked about earlier. And that's intentional. Train doctors here, employ them here, keep that talent in the city. Then you've got the Kwantlen Polytechnic University. They announced their first housing project last fall. It's a nearly $144 million build with 350 rooms. Construction expected to start in early 2027. And UBC's Surrey campus, once it's fully built out, is expected to have around 10,000 students. So when you put all this together, a new medical school, expanding universities, and a brand new hospital, you start to see the shift. Instead of losing skilled workers to Vancouver, Surrey starts keeping them. And more than that, it starts attracting healthcare companies, tech firms, and other businesses that want to be close to that talent. That being said, this isn't just a Surrey story, and this is where it starts to connect on a bigger level. But I'm going to save that for the Canada section coming up. That's where this really zooms out and changes how you look at everything. Canada is dealing with long-term labor shortages across a number of industries. Surrey is being positioned to help fill that gap, and the infrastructure to support that is already being built. Now, none of this works at scale without the roads, bridges, and overall connectivity to support it. So let's look at what's being built to tie all of this together. All right, you just don't grow a city to 1 million people on the same road network it has today. And Surrey's infrastructure story is bigger than most people think, because a city growing is only part of it. What's really happening is the entire region is starting to shift. Take the new bridge that was just finished replacing the old Patello Bridge. The original opened back in 1937, and now it's been torn down and replaced with a brand new 4-lane bridge. The first phase opened last December, and all 4 lanes have been running since earlier this year. This is one of those projects people talked about for decades, and now it's actually done. At the same time, Highway 1 is being widened between 216th and 264th Street with bigger interchanges to improve traffic flow towards Abbotsford and the Abbotsford International Airport. And when you add better bridges and wider highways, daily life just gets better. And at the same time, it opens up one of the most important growth corridors on the West Coast. The infrastructure follows the people, and the people are already moving this way. So the infrastructure here supports the growth that's already committed. But infrastructure and population on their own don't make a city sustainable. What does that is a strong local job market, and that's exactly what's being built next. When it comes to city growth, the ones that actually last are built on jobs, not just housing. If you want to see why Surrey's growth feels different, this is where you want to pay attention. Campbell Heights Business Park, almost 2,000 acres in South Surrey, has turned into a go-to spot for companies leaving Vancouver because land there just got too expensive. And this is the reality. Surrey has the last major supply of light industrial land in the entire Lower Mainland. And once it's used up, that's it. South Campbell Heights alone is adding over 1.6 million square feet of light industrial space right now. You've got major logistics hubs going up as we speak. Industrial land across Metro Vancouver drives about 30% of the region's GDP, and Surrey holds the last major reserve of that land. So this is the engine that supports everything else happening in the city. One side of Surrey is building the jobs, the other side is building the lifestyle people want to come home to. So you end up with more local jobs, a stronger tax base, and less reliance on Vancouver. That's a different kind of growth, and it's a big reason why Surrey is getting so much attention right now. So now I want to zoom out a bit. Each of these projects on its own is interesting. When you look at all of them together, you start to see a much bigger than just Surrey or even BC. If you look at where most of Canada's growth has happened, it's been Metro Vancouver, Greater Toronto area. That's where everything has been concentrated. What's happening here right now starts to add another major growth center on the West Coast, and that takes some pressure off of cities that have been dealing with it for decades. Then you've got immigration. Canada's bringing in more people every year, and Surrey is set up to receive a big part of that. There's more space, it's still more affordable than Vancouver, and the infrastructure is already being built out to support that growth. That creates steady housing demand and a growing workforce that doesn't just disappear when rates change. There's also the trade side, which a lot of people overlook. Surrey's close to both the Port of Vancouver and the US border, so all the industrial and logistics growth happening here connects directly to how goods move in and out of the country. This place is becoming part of Canada's Pacific Gateway in a real way. Then you look at talent. You've got SFU's medical school, UBC's planned campus, and Kwantlen Polytechnic expanding. Add a brand new smart hospital to that, and you've got a strong local pipeline of talent. And that helps Canada stay competitive on a global level. At the same time, Vancouver's affordability issues aren't going away anytime soon. Surrey doesn't fix everything, but it does add more room for growth and more housing capacity, which is something the country has needed for a long time. When you put all of this together, Surrey is starting to shift where opportunity lives across Canada. And if you've been watching this market and trying to figure out your next move, this next part is where it all comes together. All right, so this is the part I know a lot of you have been waiting for. After so many years living here and watching this play out, what does this actually mean if you're thinking about buying or investing in Surrey right now? The market went through a real correction last year. Sales dropped a lot and condo inventory reached levels we haven't seen in over a decade. That said, in early 2026, things are starting to level out. Experts are expecting home sales to pick up and demand to return throughout the year. Now, timing is really important in a city like this. The best opportunities usually get picked up before everything is obvious. And right now, not every part of Surrey is at the same stage. That's where the real decisions come in. You can think about it in two buckets. Early stage areas along Fraser Highway near future SkyTrain stations where the infrastructure is going in, but the towers haven't started yet. These are transit-oriented areas where zoning has already changed, but development is still a few years away. You also have parts of South Surrey near industrial zones that are being built out. These areas have more upside, but also more uncertainty. You're buying into what the city is becoming. City center condos and established mixed-use neighborhoods where most of the change has already happened. Prices already reflect that. There's less risk, but also less room for big upside. You're buying something more stable. At the same time, there are real risks. Some areas do have too much condo supply. Timelines can shift, and not every part of Surrey will benefit the same way from these projects. The opportunity is there, but you have to know where the growth is actually happening and whether you're getting ahead of it. The cities that end up reshaping a region don't really announce it. They just keep building while most people are looking somewhere else. And after so long working in this market, Surrey's already past that point. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Surrey, Langley, or White Rock, and you want to understand what this growth window actually means for you, email me directly at info@moteam.ca today. I've also linked a video right here that goes deeper into the one project tying all this together, Surrey's $600 million entertainment district. Definitely worth watching. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.